the daily impact that you have on people's lives.
I would take somebody off the street who is passionate and believes in your vision and the product, but it was really, what is the impact that we have on society?
Hey everyone, here with Joe Guszkowski. Very excited. Somebody that I've followed over the years from afar. So really great to meet you in person and to have this conversation. We've had a number of different phone conversations, but there's nothing better than face to face.
Yeah, it's great to see everyone at the show. It's great to see you, Nick.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And the reason why I followed you for so long, you started out, your history is really unique. You started the Kansas City Star. You worked for Wisconsin State Legislator. You've done a number of different aspects. Now for the past number of years, you've been at Informa, focused on the hospitality space. And something we were chatting about earlier, I'm not the best long-form writer. I love video. And I've always found tips and tricks from you on how do you shape stories? How do you tell the story? Because words have a lot of different meanings. And it's really a skill set that I've appreciated. So it would be great if you could tell people if they're out there and they want to be a writer. How do you go about that in today's age, right? It's a little bit different, but how would you go about that? And any advice you would give to somebody coming up?
It's a great question because, journalism is changing just like restaurants are. It's becoming the written word, the story, the article has long been the unit of journalism, but it's really moving into video, social media. I mean, people are getting their information from so many different places. They're not necessarily going to a website and reading stories.
Yeah.
So given that that's the case and people's attention spans are shorter and there's so much content out there, I think the thing I always try to do, whether it's a story, whether it's a LinkedIn post, whatever the unit of content is to hook people quickly and really get to the point of the story right away. And so in journalism school, they always teach you about the lead, which is, the first couple sentences of your story.
Yeah.
That's still the most important part of your story. Right off the bat, you need to
give them a reason to keep reading.
Give them a reason to keep reading, get them interested, but also get enough information up there that they understand what the story is going to be about.
Yeah.
And so I always focus a lot on the headline and the first couple sentences.
Interesting. That's it, because now it makes sense that you say it. But I'm thinking of it when I was a founder fundraising, writing to investors. It's what subject line do I want to have to open it? And then what are the first two sentences that I'm going to get them to read the next two sentences to keep them engaged? So that makes a lot of sense for me as a founder, but you actually have to do that same thing on the story side.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just because people aren't really buying newspapers and just reading everything cover to cover. It's they're surfing the internet, and if something grabs their attention, they'll read it. And if it doesn't, they've got a million other places to go, so that's sort of the challenge, but it raises the stakes and makes it fun too.
And why food? Why restaurants? Why tech?
I mean, I kind of fell into this, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I didn't know that.
I've worked in restaurants before, but it's not like I grew up wanting to be a restaurant tech journalist, I mean, it was something that came out. I went to journalism school. I ended up working for restaurant business on the magazine side. We used to have a magazine, so I helped put that together. We no longer had the magazine. When the pandemic hit, our company changed a lot. We stopped doing print for restaurant business. It's all digital, and we needed more writers. So I shifted from working on the magazine production side to writing about tech because we didn't really have a tech editor at the time. And of course, that was a great time to start writing about restaurant tech. And every year it just gets more and more interesting.
So that's kind of interesting, right? Being on the other side, I always think about how tech got impacted with COVID and how automation came to form. That's how I started creating my AI capabilities. Restaurants, it was a crazy time, right? With food, with in-person, etc. I guess a lot of people may not think about the journalism impact. Right, that's a major shift, right? From having print and then that force hand into digital content, that's a huge undertaking and complete transformation change. How was that? How did you guys? Because you guys obviously are thriving now on the other side. What are some things and key takeaways you've learned from that?
I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. Just changing. It really changes the pace and the rhythm of your job. When you're focused on putting out a monthly magazine, which is what we used to do, you've got weeks to work on a story. And these are more like feature type stories. It's not as news based, right? Because you're writing the story now and it's not going to be read until a month later. So in the digital world, we're putting out daily newsletters. We're putting out multiple newsletters a day, multiple a week. It's become much more like news focused. Like I'm writing at least a story a day, while at the same time working on more in-depth stuff, long-term stuff. So
you've had to wear multiple hats.
Oh yeah. I mean, the magazine world is just different. The rhythm of it is different, and this is a much faster pace because you have to keep up with the news cycle.
How has like AI impacted journalism?
That is such a great question. I've started using AI actually in my day-to-day job. I will have it, if I write something and I can't come up with a headline, I'll feed it into ChatGPT or whatever and just say, hey, give me like 5 headline suggestions. I don't always use them, but sometimes it gives me an idea or a word that I can take and put into the eventual headline. I mean, I think there are a lot of applications for AI in journalism, and I hope we don't get to a point where AI is straight up writing stories, because I mean, that's not good for me. But I think there are uses for it for journalists that can sort of give you this sounding board to bounce ideas off
Use it
of.
similarly, like you have, I think like the human being provides the creativity and the direction, and it's like, you might have a little block on something and use it to unlock that, or to sounding board on how that's interesting.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I write about business, right? So a lot of times I'm looking at numbers, and it can be helpful with that too. Just give it a list of numbers and say, I don't know, put these in order from smallest to largest. It can do that in a second, and it would take me 15 minutes.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then tying back to like the restaurant tech side, what are some of the things that that most excites you about the restaurant tech space that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is fascinating. I think we haven't even scratched the surface of what it's going to ultimately be for restaurants.
Yeah.
I also follow delivery closely. I'm always kind of following what the big delivery providers are doing.
Right.
And there's been a lot of news in that space just the past couple of weeks. So
7 rooms and DoorDash, I mean, that's massive.
That's right. Uber Eats is doing this open table thing with reservations.
Yeah, the integration there, that's crazy too.
Yeah. So I think just where are those companies going to be in like 5 years, and how are they going to, what role are they going to ultimately play in the restaurant industry, and how can restaurants work with them, but also build up those first party channels that are ultimately, going to be probably the healthiest future for restaurants.
Right.
So those are the 2 things that I would say I spend a lot of time thinking about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, I greatly appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks.